Oh my word, that transfer deadline day was both stressful, exciting and awesome. It's getting awfully full of me here in Hamburg. Hello and welcome to Club 5, Part 6 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have an away game against Borussia Monchengladbach in the Bundesliga, and then a second leg in the Europa League first knockout round against Basel, which I thought was going to be a bit of a cliffhanger. But then we battered them 5-0 away from home in the first leg. It was our first win for ages, but it was also, the second time that our new look team got to play together. They're not all there, but as you can see, bit of a superstar performance from our new superstar signing, Liam Thorne, the headline signing of transfer deadline day. And we had to do a little bit of wheeler dealing to bring him in. By the time he actually agreed to come, it really did come down to the wire. We'd already signed Pineda, Schuster and Vandenberg, so the two former Fulham guys and the Bayern Munich wonder kid that we talked about in the last episode. And of course, because of their loan fees, I'd wiped out all of my transfer budget. So still wanting to bring Liam Thorne in, I then tried to sell everybody. We managed to get rid of Escobedo, who went to Spartak Moscow for £6 million. There'd been interest from Bournemouth in him earlier in the transfer window. But with Schuster coming in, I felt like we didn't need Escobedo. I think that's a fair swap. But we still didn't have enough money. So I then thought, well, Liberali, we don't play an attacking midfielder. Let's get rid of him. So he went. And then I also offered out Fraser Sharp and Van Emmerich as well. And they both had deals agreed. But it got to deadline day, Thorne had arrived, and I didn't actually need to sell either of them to be able to pay for Thorne because of the deals for Escobedo and Liberali. But in the end, I've let Fraser Sharp go just because he's 24 and makes me angry. I mean, he's played all those games and not scored any goals. I know there was a little bit of love for him in the comments yesterday, telling me he was my best player, he just needed good players around him. Well, you know what? Let's have a look at what his last game for Hamburg was. Oh, we can't anymore because he doesn't play for us anymore. But he had an average rating of 6.67 and never even got an assist in all his time that he was here. Liam Thorne, in his last game, got... look, there you go. So he got 2 assists against Leverkusen, 2 goals against Basel, and is averaging an 8.5 so far in his Hamburg career. 2 appearances, 2 goals, 2 assists. Liam Thorne is a much better striker than Fraser Sharp. He's an inch taller as well. Apparently, star rating wise, not as good, but he's going to be a superstar for us. I've already decided. And because of that, we've kept Van Emmerich around as a backup as well, because there didn't seem any reason to just throw all the strikers away. But certainly some major deadline day wheeler dealing business. But it does mean we've now got a pretty decent looking squad. And let's have a look at... Are we playing? We are playing a game now. We're playing Borussia Monchengladbach now. So yesterday's Kev should have already picked the team. And it looks like this. So we've got Meyer in goal, a back four of Friedel, Zagadou, Schuster and Hadrovic, with Mori at the base of our midfield. Where is Vandenberg? Why is he not in the team? Oh, he got sent off in the last game, so he's suspended. So Mori's back in for this game. Janicic and Pineda in midfield, Thorne up front, Adley on the right wing. Okan Alkan is going to play on the left wing. He's not any good, but we've got injuries and suspension issues going on. If we have a look, obviously I'd rather have E2 out there, but he's still injured. Van Emmerich is also injured, who would be an option to go out there as well. So we're playing someone who's not very good, but we're not going to worry about that. We're still going to have some gaps in the squad. I guess we could put Marvin Lang there, but Marvin Lang isn't very good at it, whereas Alcam, although ability-wise might not be as good, is a natural in that position, and it's all about getting the ball to Liam Thorne. We want goals from Thorne, and that's got to be the plan for the rest of the game. Schuster, in the last match, if I'd have been playing it on my PC rather than on my MacBook in the house, I would have set Bandicam up and I would have started recording there and then, because Schuster did the best tackle I've ever seen in a game of Football Manager in the last match. It was just absolutely heroic. So we've got a proper defence, a proper midfield and a proper attack. I'm so happy with how this transfer window has gone. I've never been this... I never expected to be this excited to play Hamburg after how the first 2 episodes went. But we're rolling now. Watch me get fired by the end of this episode. So, let's passionately say, let's stick it to the media. This isn't the same team that's been in awful form in the league. This is a new bunch of players who I'd like to think are capable of beating Borussia Monchengladbach. They're 8th in the league. Yes, they can go out and spend £35 million on a striker, like they did in January, which isn't ideal. But we signed Liam Thorne, and they didn't do that. So I think we win the transfer window. Adley just over from the corner. And I need a big performance from Liam Thorne now. I need straight away, the first time you see him play for us here at Hamburg, the first time he's ever been the number one striker at a club for us, we need him to go out there and prove, without any question, that he's a better option than Fraser Sharp was. We need him to be a threat. And there he is, chasing down the goalkeeper, but no, doesn't quite get there. But we're not going to worry about that because we're a good team now. We don't worry about nonsense like that anymore. We're not afraid. We absolutely thumped Basel, and I loved it. Basel, whatever. I feel like the Europa League is setting itself up for a Hamburg versus Fulham tie at some point a little bit further down the line, which that'll be the decision maker. It'll be me, Liam Thorne, Schuster, Pineda, Shane Duffy, all going back to our former stomping ground, and we'll see who was right. David Noble will end up coming back to Germany with us. Right, we want to keep the passion up. I think we have been the better team. The players clearly don't agree. Stats-wise, I mean, we have been the better team. We've dominated possession. We've dominated all stats. All we need is a goal. I don't like saying that sentence. That's the kind of sentence I used to have to say when Fraser Sharp was up front. I shouldn't be saying that kind of sentence anymore now we've got Liam Thorne. The only problem is, obviously, we don't have the support players around him with that youngster out on the wing. We've just given away a penalty. Oh, let's not give away penalties. We want luck to start to go our way. Oh, it did go our way. I guess that went to the tellyman, and the tellyman decided it was fine. This works for me. Thorne hasn't played very well, has he? And now he's nervous. He's nervous because you lot are watching. He knows the level of expectations you've got. Right, Vital can come on that left wing. Let's get Chapman on as well. So we'll change up the support. In fact, is Vital an inside forward, or does he want to be a winger? He can be an inside forward. See if changing up the players around Thorne leads us to grab a goal. We want to show some passion as well. I mean, 0-0 away from home against Borussia Monchengladbach, absolutely a good result. But it's in the circumstances we could do with a win. And here is Liam Thorne, and he scuffed that a little bit. I mean, at least it was on target. Fraser Sharp would have missed. But the Liam Thorne from the Basel game that we just played scores that, because he did score that same chance in that game. I can't take Thorne off. We don't have anyone else. Can I? Do I want him to feel untouchable straight away? I don't think I do. Let's bring Lang on for the last 10 minutes. Just remind Liam Thorne that just because we've spent £10 million on him doesn't mean that he's going to be guaranteed to stay on the pitch if he doesn't perform for us. We don't want the same Liam Thorne we had sometimes at Fulham, where he only plays in Europe and he's not any good in the Premier League. He's scored a goal every other game in the Premier League this season for Fulham. We want him to bring that form over to us. But that was the poorest performance we've had from him so far. But importantly, we didn't lose. And let's give them you were unlucky. I think we could have won that on another day. But at least we're not losing them anymore, and that's important. Right, let's go beat Basel and then get the inevitable draw against Fulham in the next round. Right, a few changes for the Basel game. Then we've got a couple of players who played in the last game not available to play. Pineda, one of those not registered. We couldn't fit all of them into our Europa League squad, and Pineda had to miss out. I think our midfield's probably strong enough without him anyway. So we have Vandenberg coming back in for Mori because he's not suspended. Adley drops back into midfield to cover for Pineda, which brings Chapman back in on the right-hand side. And the youngster that we played on the left-hand side in the last game was both useless and isn't in our Europa League squad. So Vital, who finished the last game there, can start this game there. Let's get him to the match. Chapman is struggling a little bit for match fitness because he hasn't played for ages. Since the new midfield arrived, certainly he doesn't get a look in because Adley's moved back out onto the right wing where he should be, and Chapman has dropped back down to being a reserve, which troubles me greatly. Right, let's go out there and prove the critics wrong. We won 5-0 away from home in the first leg. This should be a bit of a cakewalk. That's what we should be looking for today. We want confidence boosting. high scoring, lots of goals, Thorne looking like a world beater, and just lots of good football. That's what we've got to be looking for out of this game. Give us some confidence going into whoever we face in the next round. It's going to be Fulham. We all know it's going to be Fulham. Right, Hadrovic, back to Van der Berg. I think, is this your first look at Van der Berg? The Bayern Munich wonder kid that we've brought in to sit at the base of our midfield. He's very good. Friedel now, over to Adli. Adli to Van der Berg. Back to Janicic. Out to Hadrovic, who crosses to Vital, who scores. And that's 1-0 up after 9 minutes on the night. 6-0 up on aggregate. This is a weak competition, isn't it? Because we're not a very good team, but we're so very much better than this team who somehow made it through the group stage. So it gives you a little bit of context as to how poor the quality of some of the teams in this competition are. Obviously, we have got the Champions League rejects have joined the competition at this stage as well. We managed to avoid any of them in this round, unless Basel inexplicably came from there, in which case I give up. I'm going to go manage in Switzerland. If this team can get in the Champions League, I'm going to go and win the league in Switzerland and become a Champions League manager that way. That's not the worst idea I've ever had. But, you know, let's just keep winning until we lose to Fulham. That's got to be the goal. Fulham, we've got to make sure Fulham actually make it through. Although I guess if we make it deeper into the Europa League than Fulham do, that officially means Kev is right, and this was a step up. If we are a higher calibre European team. See, I might have been right after all. Let's wait and see how this all pans out. Why are they just knocking? They're 6-0 down. They don't seem to have realised. They're just knocking the ball around between these two players. And we're just going to let them. We don't care. Yeah, do what you want. We'll do another hour of this, lads. I don't know why it's a highlight. Because they're going to score from it, aren't they? That's ridiculous. Schuster again with another very good tackle. I tell you what, having Schuster in that defence is a big difference maker. Van der Berg now with the corner. Zagadou heads straight at their keeper, but he can't do anything other than push it around the post for a corner, and it's Adli to take. Adli floats the corner across. There's Liam Thorne, but it's straight at the goalkeeper. And I think we've got another corner. In fact, no, I think it went for a throw-in. So the highlight ended. Obviously, an attacking throw-in in those kind of positions, much less highlight-worthy than their right-back and centre-back just knocking it back and forth between each other for a few minutes. That's the real gold that we need to be able to see. So I can understand why they cut a dangerous attacking set-piece. Right, corner comes over from them, and it's rubbish. Again, I'm glad we saw that corner rather than whatever we did when we didn't get to watch it. I appreciate the editing that's going in here. Zagadou now plays it forward to Friedel. We've still got time to grab a second before half-time if we get the ball forward. Van der Berg again. Just everything goes through him. I love it. He's just controlling the game from the base of the midfield. Janicic now. All the way across to Chapman, who's got a player on the overlap. Hadrovic, there you go. See, I'm learning their names slowly. Chapman tries to cross, but it falls to Hadrovic, who does cross. And there's Vital, and that's 2-0 just before half-time. Hamburg 2, Basel 0, 7-0 on aggregate. Do we need to play the second half? I wouldn't be averse to just not bothering and just going straight into the draw, because I don't think Basel are going to score 8 goals to no reply in the next 45 minutes of football, based on how the previous game and a half have gone. It seems unlikely, but I guess it's all about confidence boosting. And at the moment, that's what we've got to be doing. We've got to start building some momentum and showing that we can apply some of this form to the league. We're going to use the Europa League to drag us up the league table. It's the opposite of the normal way it usually works. Right, let's just passionately say I'm happy. We're 7-0 up on aggregate with 45 minutes to go. I can't really do anything other than say, I mean, you're doing all right, gentlemen. Well done. Zagadou, I mean, that was a late bit of commentary, Kev. The highlight had long since stopped. My word. Thorne now drifting out onto the left-hand side, just linking the play up nicely. Van der Berg plays it over to Hadrovic. Hadrovic with the cross, falls to Janicic and hits the crossbar. And it's with Friedel. We don't get to see the cross because we saw those passes in the first half. Hadrovic with a big cross this time. He's already got 2 assists for the game, looking for a third. Vital also on a hat-trick. If the two of them combine again, that might be my new route to goals. Big crosses from Hadrovic for Vital coming in off that left-hand side. But we start from the left this time. It's with Friedel. Forward to Vital, who sticks it over to Hadrovic because he wants the cross. He wants his hat-trick. Chapman, though, is the one who's probably going to cross it. In fact, plays it back to Hadrovic and Janicic and Van der Berg. How good are we at keeping possession against teams that aren't very good? Our left-back has just been brilliant there, and they make a good save. Basel make us look like a very good side. We just need more teams like this to play against. Friedel with the corner now, and it's cleared. I want goals for Thorne. I'm going to be very upset if Liam Thorne has a really disappointing episode after how well he played in the 2 games before you lot turned up and started watching. You've ruined him. Perhaps he doesn't like you. Perhaps it's because he heard all the love you lot had for Mitrovic and for Garces. On Fraser Sharp. Perhaps he reads the comments. Liam Thorne reads the comments. You heard it here first. You've got to start being nice to him. Describe him as your hero, and then he might perform for you. I think that's reasonable. But for now, let's take him off to protect him from the mean people who don't like him. And we're also going to bring on, I don't know who Stratos Ramantanis is. Let's have a look at him. What do you want to be, Stratos? You're a striker. Not a very good one either. Tell you what, you can stay on the bench for now. And we're going to bring on Mori for Chaton. I'm just going to shuffle the midfield around a little bit. Can Vandenberg play normal midfield? Not really. But he's a wonder kid. He can play anywhere. We'll just leave him there. It'll be fine. You've got to rotate a little bit sometimes. Well, Murray's not our worst player. It's a little bit harsh on him that he's the one who's dropped out of the team for Vandenberg. But Vandenberg is much better than him. So if they can both only play in that one position, only one of them can play unless this works. So we just want a penalty. We have softest penalty in the history of the world because nothing was happening. But it does give Vital the chance for his hat-trick. He gets his hat-trick. I guess this has to be an example of somebody forcing their way into the reckoning. You saw in the last league game, we didn't have a winger available, so I didn't even bother starting this guy. In fact, he wasn't even my first choice backup player. I was thinking in terms of swapping Lang into the team. So he was like my 4th or 5th player on the pecking order on that left-hand side, and he's just scored a hat-trick. Let's bring Stratos on, why not? So perhaps we need to start taking Vital a little bit more seriously. He's played a lot of games for us in central midfield so far, but maybe now we've got some decent central midfielders, maybe his home will be out on that wing. Right, Mori. Cross goes over to Janicic. It falls to Vandenberg. And Mori again. Steen all the way across. Doesn't get to anybody. Janicic tried that 4 or 5 times over the course of that game and was gradually getting nearer and nearer. And then on 86 minutes, he just sticks it into the top corner. That's 9-1 on aggregate now. And our captain has just scored another absolute beauty. Let's have a look at it from the other side. Look, just first time. A cross goal, top corner. I mean, do that in the league sometimes, and that would be lovely. I know he has done it in the league from time to time, but we just need all of these players to play like this in some league games, because as much fun as the Europa League is, I'll get sacked if we finish where we are in the league at the moment, I suspect, no matter what we do in the Europa League. Although, maybe, career-wise, if we go and win the Europa League, it doesn't matter if I get sacked, because I'll be a Europa League winning manager then. Don't think we're going to win the Europa League, though. I don't think all the teams in this competition are of the standard of Basel. We can hope, but I think it's probably unlikely. But well done, gentlemen. That was another excellent performance. Let's be passionate. It was very good. And now let's go and do the draw for the next round and presumably set up the game against Fulham. Here we go then. There are some big teams left in it. There are some small teams left in it. The only team I'm interested in playing is this one. So let's hopefully draw them. Or at least get someone easy, and they get someone easy. And a Hamburg-Fulham final I'm not against. I just don't expect either of us to get anywhere near it because of some of the other teams that are still in this competition. Bordeaux, no, not interested. Schalke would be a disaster because they keep beating us. Good. Marseille, I tell you what, there's only 6 teams left and we're amongst those 6. Right, here we go, boys and girls. Hamburg. It's because I didn't say it a third time before I clicked. Well, they've got to beat Porto. And we've got to beat Leicester. I mean, doable, maybe? Is that doable for Fulham? I guess we play Leicester in the next episode. And we hope that we use it to set up a game against Fulham. So we'll do, in the next episode, we'll probably do Dortmund and the second leg of Leicester. I think that seems like a sensible thing to do. We've got to follow this Europa League run as long as it takes us, because it's the only bright point of what has been a miserable season in the league. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos, and thank you very much for watching.